Hello and welcome to the Mixtape podcast. I am your host, Mark, and every week we'll take a deep dive into my guests' inspirations and influences by asking them to make up an imaginary 6-track mixtape. There are over 120 archive episodes. The mixtapepodcast.com is your one-stop shop for all of those episodes, my YouTube channel, and it'd be great to catch up with you on social media as well. Don't forget, if you enjoy this episode, to give us a like, a share, or a follow wherever you listen to your podcasts. And I hope you enjoy this week's episode. Hello and welcome to today's mixtape. And today on the show, it is an absolute pleasure to be chatting to Ali from Zebrahead. How are you, mate?
Good, Mark. Thanks for having me, bud.
Absolute pleasure, mate. Zebrahead back to Australia. First time in 7 years. You're coming for Perth people, it is the Amplifier Bar on October the 7th. It is thephoenix.au for info and tickets, mate. 7 years, Ali, since you were down under. What's been going on in interim, mate?
Yeah, in the world of Zebrahead, we actually have a new member in the band, Adrian Estrella. So we are really excited to bring him to Australia with us and have everybody see him play live and listen to his beautiful voice. But we've been working with him ever since, I guess, the last time we were there. Also, since the pandemic, we released 3 EPs, and we're hoping to play some of those songs for our fans in Australia. But more than anything, we just can't wait to come and hang out with everybody. It's been so long, and that's all everybody's been talking about for the last 2 months. So we're really excited to come back.
Excellent. And you mentioned the EPs there, so I'll dive straight into those. I saw on your website some beautiful, colourful vinyl bundles and also cassettes as well available. Are you a fan of the physical formats, mate?
Yeah, I grew up with tapes and CDs and all that stuff. So for me, there's something to be able to hold the product in your hand is something that I love. But I do understand everything changes, and it's with the streaming formats now, it's cool in that I feel like with as far as playlists and stuff, you get to listen to a bunch of stuff maybe that you wouldn't normally because the way they set up the playlists and stuff. So there's pros and cons to everything. But for me, just being an old head and always having a physical product in my hand, I do appreciate that.
Yeah. So they're available through zebrahead.com. Will you be bringing any merch with you, T-shirts and stuff to the shows?
Oh, yeah. We'll bring a bunch of stuff. We tend to, because for us as well, like when I go see a band play, I might not like the same exact thing as everybody else. So we try to have a wide variety of things with us. So yeah, hopefully there'll be something everybody likes.
Fantastic. And just while you're on tour, Ali, like especially somewhere like Australia, like how does your day look? Are you more of a sort of a sound check and chill guy, or do you like to make the most of the time and get out and see some sights and see a bit of Australia? How does it work for you, mate?
In general, as a band, we tend to try to sightsee and take in as much as the culture as we can when we're traveling. For sure in Australia, I feel like we're going to try to get up early, go do as much as we can. But then obviously you go back and you load in and then you sound check and you prepare for the show because that's the most important thing. And then after the show, if there's something to do, we tend to do that as well. So we try to make it a whole experience.
Yeah. Fantastic, mate. It's good. Love to hear that. The other question I had for you, Ali, was like just generally around the band and like creatively, how does it work within the band, like with your songwriting process? Is it a collaborative approach, or does everyone bring something to the table, or is it like maybe one or two like yourself main songwriters? And how has that changed over the last, or if at all, over the last sort of 30 odd years?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say as far as the band goes, it's been very collaborative. And if you knew any of the other guys or spoke to them, everybody has different influences. There's a couple of guys that are straight up punk music. Some love heavier music, metal. I'm a huge hip hop guy. So when we work on songs, we tend to bring in those influences or whatever we're into at that time. And when the difference now being like when we first started, we always would roll into our rehearsal studio. And even if somebody had an idea, that's where you would hear the idea first, right? So I have a guitar part or I have a vocal part, and then we'd work around that and then we jam it out. Nowadays, everybody has a studio at home, which is, I think, beneficial because, for example, I'm a late night guy, so I work late. A couple other guys are early people. early morning people and they prefer to work early. So now, whenever you're inspired, you just go into your little studio at home and work on music and send it out. And then everybody else puts their stuff on it. And once it reaches a point where we feel like, you know what, let's meet up this week and let's go through a few of these songs and play them together live. And then we build on that. And then we take those home, that recording home, and work on it at home again. And you just go back and forth. So it's become this like mishmash of working together, working from home, whenever you're inspired. And that's how it's always been for us is like everybody brings in their 2 cents and then we put it together and create a song.
Fantastic. Great insight. Thanks for that, Ali. Just again on the band and longevity, what keeps you motivated and inspired to keep going out there and keep touring and keep making music, mate?
Honestly, the fact that we have the opportunity to play shows still at this long into our career, it's weird because I never really thought about it when we were a lot younger. And the older I get, the more appreciative I am of being able to come to Australia and play 5 shows over there. Before, I would just focus on I feel like the show, make sure the show is really good. And now it's more of the whole experience about traveling there, seeing your old friends, like doing some sightseeing, eating some good food. So it's become, I feel like for myself, I appreciate it more the older I get. And it's the touring aspect that I love.
Yeah, the live experience for me is definitely the best part. I've got a huge record collection and physical formats and all that, but you cannot beat being in that live show. It's just the best feeling. Okay,
Yeah.
I've got a few quick fire questions for you, Ali, most around the live experience.
Okay.
First of all, do you have a pre-show ritual?
Oh, yeah, for sure. For me, it starts about an hour before we play. I do these vocal warm-ups. I had a vocal coach who gave me these warm-ups that I've been doing for a long time. And so I'll start with that. And after I'm done with the vocal warm-ups, I'll get the set list in order and see like where we want to put the songs. Once that's done, I usually have about a half hour before we play or 20 minutes, and I'll do some light stretching. And then usually right about 5 minutes before we play, the band meets up in the like side stage and we do a shot of Jameson and then we go play the show. That's usually like Groundhog's Day style, what happens before we play.
It's amazing how many bands involve a shot somewhere in their pre-show ritual. That comes up very often. That's a very popular one. Talking about shots, what's the weirdest thing in your tour rider?
Oh, right now it's not too crazy, but there was a time where we thought we were going to be really healthy. So we bought a juicer. So in our rider, we would have 8 bags of celery, 4 bags of carrots. And there was so many times where we would roll in and the guy would be like, "Are you fucking with me? Is this your green M&Ms?" But we did that for a good year and a half. And like the backstage would be just like carrot skin and chopped up celery. And it was so not rock and roll, but it was like we for some reason thought we were being healthy and we did that. So that would probably be the weirdest thing because it just doesn't fit.
Fantastic. And one extreme to the other, talking about being rock and roll, what is the most rock star thing you've ever done?
Many years ago, we did this song called Playmate of the Year. And for the video, Hugh Hefner and Playboy invited us to the mansion. So we went and we filmed and I became friends with one of the girls that was a playmate at the time. And so we would hang out when I was home from tour. And so I would go to the mansion and I was able to bring some friends with me once in a while when I would go. And I don't know, growing up, like I would see pictures of the famous like Tommy Lee or whatever is at the Playboy Mansion. And I don't know, maybe that would probably qualify for me. That was a pretty cool thing.
That's one of the best answers anyone's ever given to that question. That was awesome. Thanks.
Yeah, man.
What is your favorite city to play live?
I'd have to just say Tokyo. It's just such a wonderful city, the culture there, and we've been going there for so long, and our fan base is amazing there. So I would recommend going to Tokyo if you haven't been.
Yeah, fantastic. Great one. And finally, if you could time travel to any concert in history, which one would you choose?
Oh, this is so weird. I was just talking to my sister about this. When I was a kid, my aunt was a huge Prince fan. So she got me tickets to Prince's when he was doing the Purple Rain album in Inglewood at the Forum. And I was really young. I didn't know. Like, I knew Prince, but I didn't know, no. And I said no because I wanted to go hang out with my friends. And like, I think about that to this day, like how you blew Prince's Purple Rain at the Forum. I would say I would time travel back and thank my aunt, give her a big like a kiss on the cheek and go to that show.
Ah, fantastic choice. I was lucky enough to see Prince in London a few years ago, a couple of years before he passed away, and it stands out as one of the best live shows I've ever seen. It was so
So
good.
talented, man. That
There
dude.
was a lot of rumours and sort of stories on social media about he would come out after everyone had left the arena, like in his dressing gown, and just sit at the piano and play. And I was there with my wife at the time, and I was like, we're going nowhere. We're staying. Like we're not going. Like everyone was leaving, and we were like, no, we're staying. So we were there for 45 minutes, and there was a few other people, obviously with the same sort of idea. But that particular night, he didn't come out, which was really
Oh
frustrating.
no.
But yeah, never mind. Yeah, it was a great show, nonetheless. Nonetheless.
Don't touch that dial. You're listening to The Mixtape.
The Mixtape is brought to you in association with Giglist. Giglist is your one-stop shop for all your live events. If you're looking to get out and experience some live music, you can filter by artist, venue, suburb or date. If you are an artist, it will take you less than a minute to list your gig for free on the website. The Mixtape brought to you in association with Giglist. Gigs in a list. All right, Ali, let's choose some mixtape track choices then, mate, for your mixtape. So when I get guests on, just to explore their influences and inspirations, I ask them to make up an imaginary mixtape and pick some songs for it. So track one is always the big attention grabber. Like, what would you use for that, mate?
I'm a huge Prodigy fan, and I love the energy with their music always. Anytime I want to get hyped up, I will play a Prodigy song, and one that just comes to mind that I do listen to all the time is "The Day Is My Enemy" from that album. So good. But yeah, Prodigy, man, I love them. And I've been lucky enough to play some festivals with them throughout the years, and they put on the best show. You're just like, I can't believe how good they are live.
Yeah, no, they're fantastic. Again, I've had the pleasure of seeing Prodigy live. I saw them at the Nebworth shows that Oasis did in the mid-90s, and they were supporting that. And The Fat of the Land was number one, I think, that week they were playing, and it was huge, epic show. It was unbelievable. Such a good live performance. Yeah, I really enjoyed that one. That was fantastic. Track two, Ali, is what is a song you sing when you're on your own in the car or the shower?
Oh, okay. One that stands out to me is from Placebo, and it's the Med song because I love the lyrics to that song and I know 99% of them. So that's a good one because I can keep up. But that song to me is that stands out.
No, that's a great choice, mate. Are they still going? I'm not sure. I haven't seen or heard anything from them for a long, long time.
What's weird is the last time I saw them was when I was in Australia, and they had a day off and they played a show and I got to go see them play. I'm not sure, man. Honestly, I haven't seen.
I'm going to look that up when we finish talking because that's made me wonder now what they're up to. Yeah. Awesome. Great choice, though, mate. And track three is pick a cover version. What would you put on a cover version on your mixtape?
Oh, Real Big Fish, Take On Me. Because only because I toured with them for years and I got to watch them play that song live throughout decades. And I know that they're not playing now, but I thought that they did such a nice job with that cover. It's really cool.
Yeah, that's a great choice. I love that one. That's a fantastic cover. That gets covered a lot, that song. A lot of people do cover versions of that. It's a great one, I think, to do. Superb choice. Track four, Ali, if you could go back and play your 18-year-old self song, what song would you choose?
So when I was a kid, like I think I mentioned, but I was really into hip hop and stuff, and that's 90% of the stuff I listened to. And mainly it was because the energy, I felt like hip hop had such attitude and energy and angst in it. Back then, I didn't listen to a lot of heavier music, but if I could, I would tell myself to listen to any System of a Down song, but Chop Suey probably, because it has that same energy and that same angst in it, but it's a completely different genre of music. And I wish I had gotten into heavier music when I was younger. So I would say System with Chop Suey for that one.
Yeah. I was never into the metal scene really until early 2000 new metal came along and that. But I remember that Toxicity album, the Aerials video.
Oh, yes.
Such a good video, like such a good song as well. That's fantastic. I remember that really hitting hard, that video in particular. It's a bit of a weird one. But yeah, that is a great choice, mate. Love a bit of System. That's superb. Track 5, if you were making up your mixtape for a romantic interest and you were trying to let someone know that you were interested in them, what would be a song you would use for that?
Okay, I might date myself on this one because it's old school, but it's on the nose. Yeah, but I think it'll get the message across. I would do the Divinals, I Touch Myself.
Great Australian choice there, mate. Nice one. That's fantastic. That's really good. That's a great one. That is so good. I can never, every time I hear that song now, Austin Powers, the movie, has completely ruined it for me.
Right.
That's all I think about, Austin Powers. Do you know what I mean? It's just, I can't get it out of my head every time I hear that song. He's ruined it a little bit.
I hadn't thought of that in a minute, but now that's all I see.
Yeah, I've ruined it for you now as well. Sorry about that. Apologise. All right, track 6, finally, Ali, is can you pick a deep cut, an album track, or a B-side that you feel is underappreciated?
Sure. So Deftones for me are like top 3 bands for me of all time, I think. And they did a song, a Duran cover called The Chauffeur. And it's a deep cut for them. I think it's a B-side, but they killed their version of it. And I still listen to that to this day. So Deftones, that was The Chauffeur, yeah.
Just to round it out, Ali, future plans for the band once you get the sort of Australian tour out of the way, what have you got going on back end of 25, going into 2026? What's happening for you, mate?
So we are going to be in the studio. We have a bunch of song ideas that we've been working on in between tours. And after Australia, we are taking a break from touring to go into record those songs and hopefully have an album or an EP. We haven't decided yet what we're doing, but to just get these songs going and finished so that hopefully by next summer, we have something to release.
Excellent. Fantastic. Look forward to that, mate. So as I said at the top of the show, it is the phoenix.au for info and tickets for the Zebrahead Australian tour. It's the 7th of October, Amplifier Bar in Perth, if you want to get along there. And the vinyl bundles I talked about earlier and all the other info is zebrahead.com. Ali, thanks so much for coming on the show, mate. Safe travels down under, and we'll see you when you get here, buddy.
I appreciate it, Mark. Come have a beer if you can when we're in Perth.
I'll come and find you, mate, for sure.
All right,
Take
bud.
care, mate. Enjoy
Thanks,
it.
man.
See you later, mate. Bye.
Later, bud.
Thank you so much for listening to the Mixtape podcast. If you've enjoyed this episode, don't forget to go to the top of the page and rate it 5 stars, or give us a like or follow on social media at the Mixtape podcast and radio show. Don't forget, there's over 100 archive episodes just waiting to be discovered. And all you need to do is visit themixtapepodcast.com. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time.